Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Hockey Talk with TG. I'm Ty Glenn. You're listening to this on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your local streaming podcast platform. So today we are going to talk about the Bruins and Panthers Game 1. Plus we'll talk about some more NHL news that's recently been going around the league. And we'll talk about the NHL Draft and more to come. But before I dive into that, I want to show you guys two of my books that I published on Amazon. So one of them is Rising Up, a Young Player's Journey to the NHL. Get a good look at it if you're watching this on YouTube. And another one, Slapshot Struggles, the story of our middle school hockey team. So get a good look at it right there. So these are two books. These are two books that I published on Amazon that I worked so hard on. I worked on this ever since last year. Like, it was a tough grind, really. But as a sports journalist and a passionate hockey fan and player, I'm very proud of all the work that I do. I didn't think this would be possible, but, just got to believe in yourself. And, there's something in the Bible said I can do all things through Christ, and I believed in myself, and I didn't give up, thank God. And I got two books published out on Amazon, so you can get your copy right now. I'll put the link in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put the link in the description. To those of you who are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or wherever, head over to the Hockey Talk with TG podcast YouTube channel, and the link will be in the description for these two books. So if you guys want them, if you want to read them, hopefully you like them. If you do get them, the link will be in the description. And I look to publish more books in the future, but I probably won't publish a book until I'm going to wait a while or so to publish a book again, because I don't want to publish my next book too soon. But those two books right there that I just showed you, if you're watching it on YouTube, the links for them will be in the description down below. So go ahead, get your copy right now. Now, without further ado, let's get into the NHL news for today. So Bruins, Panthers, Game 1. Boston takes it 5-1. They lead the series 1-0. They scored 4 unanswered. Well, actually, they took it. Was it 4-1? I think it was 5-1. 5-1. 5-1 was the final score, I think. But they scored 4 unanswered goals from Morgan Geekie, Mason Lohrei, Brandon Carlo, Justin Brazeau, and Jake DeBrusk, which Jake DeBrusk's goal was an empty net goal. And so I want to give a huge shout out to Boston Bruins defenseman Brandon Carlo right there on the goal. He showed up to the team a little bit late because he and his wife were having a baby. And when he showed up late, got in his gear, ended up scoring a goal in the middle of it. So huge congratulations to Brandon Carlo right there on the goal. And also congratulations to him and his wife for having the baby on the day that he scored that goal. Jeremy Swayman, he was absolutely spectacular in net, making 38 saves on 39 shots faced the net. So once again, put on the show. He might be one of the best NHL goalies in this playoffs so far. So he's really making a name for himself. And Game 2 of this best-of-7 series is tomorrow, Wednesday, May 8th at 6:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. If you're living up in the East, it'll be on at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. If you're out West, it'll be on at 4:30 p.m. Western Time. So 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time up in the East. And then if you're living somewhere in the Central, it'll come on at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Moving on. Well, we'll see if the Bruins can even up that series. Not the Bruins. The Panthers. We'll see if the Panthers can even up that series 1 game apiece. They probably should. These are two great teams going at it for the second straight year after Boston's surprise, emotional first round exit after having a great season, winning the President's Trophy and being number one in the league last year. So we'll see if the Boston Bruins can avenge themselves. They're already up 1-0, which is a good start. Now let's see if they can go up 2-0 heading home. And before I move on to some of the other NHL news, I just want to tell you guys about this ESPN post I saw yesterday. So they posted this on their Instagram. Fun fact, some NBA city teams are still in the playoffs like the NHL teams are. So like Boston Bruins of the NHL, Boston Celtics of the NBA. Then you got the Denver Nuggets of the NBA, Colorado Avalanche of the NHL, Dallas Mavericks of the NBA, Dallas Stars of the NHL, and of course New York Knicks of the NBA, New York Rangers of the NHL. So I kind of found that post funny right there. Moving on with some other NHL news. So Rick Bowness announces his retirement from coaching in the NHL, and he's been behind the bench for 2,726 games, both as an assistant and head coach, which is the most in NHL history. He was the head coach in each of his last 5 seasons. He coached the Dallas Stars from 2019-2022, and of course the Jets from 2022 to 2024, and he also helped the Stars go to the Stanley Cup Final in 2020, which we all know how that turned out. They lost to Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games. That was during the bubble. That was during the COVID year. So, yeah. His first coaching job was with the Winnipeg Jets in 1989. So, he was with the Jets for a while, then eventually left, and then eventually came back to the team. From 2006 to 2018, he was an associate head coach for both the Vancouver Canucks and Tampa Bay Lightning. He was an assistant coach for the Tampa Bay Lightning in their run to the 2015 Stanley Cup Final, where they would lose to my Chicago Blackhawks in 6 games. P.S. Let's go Hawks, and hopefully they can get Macklin Celebrini or at least draft first overall, which I highly doubt that's going to happen because the Sharks have the best odds at drafting him. And plus, I don't think no NHL team has drafted back-to-back number 1 overall picks. So I highly doubt the Blackhawks will get that first overall pick. They might get the second overall pick because they have the best odds at drafting the second overall pick, but I highly doubt that they're going to draft first overall. But anyway, congrats to Rick Bowness on the outstanding coaching career that he has had in the NHL, and best of luck on his retirement. All right, moving on. So this is something that I wanted to talk about. So with the Toronto Maple Leafs with a first-round exit yet again, losing to the Boston Bruins in 7 games, everybody wants to know what's next for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Will the Leafs still keep their core? Will they make any possible major trade changes? Will they still have Mitch Marner on the team? Or, like, what's next for the Leafs? So I think, if you ask me, I think they should probably trade Ilya Samsonov. I don't know if Leafs fans or if hockey fans in general will agree with that, but I think Ilya Samsonov should be traded. It felt like he had a bad start in the playoffs when they were facing the Boston Bruins in their first round series, and Joseph Woll, he has taken over. Like, the only reason why, and I don't want to make this up as an excuse because I'm not a Leafs fan, but if Joseph Woll played Game 7 against the Boston Bruins, maybe, just maybe, the Leafs would have had a chance to win that series. But hey, I'm not a person who likes to make a bunch of excuses. But maybe, just maybe, I'm not saying they will win the series if Joseph Woll did play Game 7. I'm not going to make a bold statement coming out and say, hey, the Leafs will win this series if Joseph Woll plays Game 7. I'm not making out a bold statement like that. I'm just saying maybe the Leafs would have had a chance to winning that first round series against the Boston Bruins if Joseph Woll was in net. Because think about it. When Ilya Samsonov wasn't playing Game 5, I think he wasn't in net for Game 5 or Game 6. The Leafs were suddenly giving momentum. Like, they had a little bit of momentum. Had a little bit, not a whole lot, but just a little bit of momentum. and they probably could have won that series. But hey, it is what it is. Most of us hockey fans know the Boston Bruins were going to win because that's just how it's been whenever they play the Leafs. I mean, the Boston Bruins are just going to come out and win the series over the Toronto Maple Leafs just like that. Maple Leafs, they do good in the regular season, but in the playoffs, they suck. And some people are saying that the Toronto Maple Leafs are the Dallas Cowboys of hockey. But hey, I don't watch football. I don't like football, but that's what I've been hearing some people say. But we will see if the Leafs make any changes throughout the offseason. But I think they should still keep Joseph Woll in net, like give him a contract extension of whatnot. And then for Mitch Marner, some people are I look in these Instagram comments and Facebook comments, and some people are saying trade Mitch Marner. So we don't know if that can possibly be the case for the Leafs. But we will see what happens throughout the offseason. If Mitch Marner stays, will he go? Or what other changes will the Leafs make in their offseason? Will they fire their head coach, Sheldon Keefe? Will they keep their president, Brandon Shanahan? Like, what are the changes for the Leafs? I don't know. I think Brandon Shanahan's the general manager. I don't know. But I know he's somewhere in the staff with the Leafs. Anyway, we're going to talk about the NHL draft lottery. So the NHL draft lottery is set for May 7th, 2024. It'll come on at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's set to come on at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. And all Sharks, Blackhawks fans, and probably Ducks fans will probably be watching to see who gets Macklin Celebrini at the NHL draft. Who has the best odds? Like, who will draft first overall to get Macklin Celebrini? So every hockey fan, especially teams that did bad this season, like my Chicago Blackhawks, will probably be watching. So yeah, it is set to come on May 7th. That is today, 2024. And the Sharks had the best odds at drafting Macklin Celebrini. They finished 1954-9 in the regular season. Also, I felt bad that Macklin Celebrini didn't get to win in the Frozen Four. He could at least took home the college hockey men's national championship award before the college hockey season had ended. But hey, it is what it is. The Blackhawks, like I said, they have the second best odds at drafting Macklin Celebrini at 13.5%, and they finished 23rd, 53-6 in the regular season. So they finished above the Sharks. So between my Chicago Blackhawks and the San Jose Sharks, the Blackhawks are obviously the best team. The Sharks are the worst team. But that's between those two. The Anaheim Ducks, they have the third best odds at 11.5%. So they finished 27-50-5 in the regular season. So we're going to keep an eye on those top three teams. So Sharks, Blackhawks, Ducks. So those are three teams to keep an eye on. Sharks, Blackhawks, Ducks. Top three teams right there. Now, like I said, Macklin Celebrini plays college hockey at Boston University. And he was in the Frozen Four. He's number one on the NHL Central Scouting list of North American skaters. And he is the winner of the Hobey Baker Award. So congrats to Macklin Celebrini. He finished second among NCAA players with 32 goals. And he's third with 64 points in 38 games this season. So certainly put on a show and made a name for himself. And as you guys can see my mock draft video on the TG Hockey channel, go ahead and watch that. I will put out a final mock draft video on that channel. So stay tuned for that. And make sure you go over there and subscribe to that channel along with this channel. Anyway, Macklin Celebrini was also named Hockey East Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year. So he joined Jack Eichel 2015, Paul Kariya 1993, and Brian Leetch 1987 as the only players to win the award in the same season. And Macklin Celebrini will represent Team Canada at the 2024 IIHF, so International Ice Hockey Federation World Championship, May 10th through the 26th. That'll be in 3 more days. And the 2024 NHL Draft will be held at the Sphere in Las Vegas, June 28th, with round 1 and June 29th for rounds 2 through 7. So lots to come right there. So many great draft prospects, and I covered this all in my mock draft video on the TG Hockey channel. So I talked about, of course, Macklin Celebrini, Cole Eiserman, Ivan Levashonov, hopefully I pronounced that name right, Caden Lindstrom, I think was another one I talked about. And also, speaking of Cole Eiserman, congrats to him. Despite Team USA losing in the U18 World Championships to Team Canada, congrats to Cole Eiserman on passing Cole Caulfield in the U.S. National Team Development Program. He set the record in that U18 World Championship game against Team Canada. So I'm going to give him a huge round of applause right there. Like I said, I don't know why he's not talked about. You know, like, he should be able to get drafted 2nd overall, if not 1st overall. At least 2nd overall. That's why I said, as a Blackhawks fan, because my favorite team is Chicago Blackhawks, if you don't already know, that if we don't get Macklin Celebrini, we can at least get Cole Eiserman, okay? We can at least get Cole Eiserman. If we don't get Macklin Celebrini, at least get Cole Eiserman. And I will be watching that NHL Draft Lottery tonight. I will be watching it tonight, 5:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to see if the Blackhawks draft Macklin Celebrini. Heck, I might even post my reaction to the draft on my Instagram or TikTok. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, NHL games on the slate. So we got game 2 of the Carolina Hurricanes and New York Rangers coming on today at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Congrats to New York Knicks on winning yesterday in their series against the Indiana Pacers. They now lead the series 1-0. Jalen Brunson put on a show right there. And the New York Rangers in the NHL, they're looking to do the same thing. They already won game 1 against the Carolina Hurricanes. They're looking to go up 2-0 against them. But hey, you're playing Carolina, so it wouldn't be a surprise that the Carolina Hurricanes will even up the series at 1 game apiece, because they are a great team to watch. And then you got game 1 of the Colorado Avalanche and Dallas Stars coming on at 8:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. So ESPN doubleheader right there. So the Colorado Avalanche are looking to do what the Denver Nuggets can do, and that's actually win a game. Because the Denver Nuggets, I saw them. I saw that game. I may not watch a lot of basketball, but I did see at least the final minutes of that game. They lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They down 2-0 in that series because Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and Minnesota Timberwolves, they put on a show. And so the Timberwolves are heading home with all smiles on their faces, going up 2-0. They win both games in Denver. So the Colorado Avalanche, they are looking to winning a game, to win at least game 1 for the starter against the Dallas Stars on the road, and not be like the Denver Nuggets and go down 2-0, or at least lose, at least game 1. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this show. Like I said, don't forget to purchase your copy of my book, So Rising Up, A Young Player's Journey to the NHL, and Slapshot Struggles, the story of our middle school hockey team. I will put these book links down in the description. So as you look under the description, if you're watching this on YouTube, these links for my books will be right there. So go ahead, get your copy today. And I'll say this again, like I said at the start of the show, as a sports journalist and a passionate hockey fan and player, I'm really proud of the work that I have done. And hopefully you guys like this book, because like I said, when I first started putting this out, I felt like, man, I don't know how people will like them, or this was kind of tough for me, which it was. It was tough for me putting out these books. It was tough for me creating these books, but I did not give up, and that's something that you aspiring young journalists can learn. Like, if you put out a book and publish it, or if you start working on a book, don't give up, don't stop, don't wait. Like, just keep working on it. Like, give it time. You don't have to rush and do it all in one day. That's something that I learned. Like, I worked on this book ever since last year, like before the new year 2024 started. Like, these books I had worked on last year in 2023, and it took me a while to publish it. So yeah, that's something that I'll give to you aspiring young journalists that are listening to the podcast. So whether you're majoring in advertising, creative mass media, public relations, sports media like I am, or broadcast journalism, or whatever journalism minor you're trying to like or major in, like, don't give up. Always keep striving. You'll do great. Anyway, subscribe to the Hockey Talk with TG podcast channel on YouTube, along with my TG Hockey channel, and also make sure you follow this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow to break down games 2 of the Hurricanes and Rangers, and Avalanche and Stars, and possibly more NHL news that comes our way. So, peace.